Hello and welcome to Remove the Valve Body. Okay, it's really important to basically read the directions because this one has a couple unique features on it. One is this little white lock here, and what this does is it holds. You have to push the release and then pull down. If I can get it to come down, there we go. And what that does is that holds the bulkhead connector in. It has seals so that the transmission doesn't leak through it. And if I hadn't read directions, I wouldn't have known that was there, and I wouldn't have known the bulkhead connector had to come out. You can't just go ripping into these things, but if you don't take that bulkhead connector out, then you can't get it out of here. So the other unique thing about this is all these bolts look similar, and if you take them all out, they're different lengths and the valve body falls apart. So in the directions it shows you which 11 bolts to take out, and I'm going to remove the bulkhead connector and then get those bolts out. Alright, I wish I could show you getting this bulkhead connector out of here, but since I can barely reach it with my hand, I'll pull it out and I will show you that it has these seals on it. You need to make sure they're in good order, and I'm just going to replace them because why wouldn't you? So now I will zip the 11 bolts out that hold this in place. Alright, as I take this last bolt out, there's a valve that's probably going to fall out. That's okay, as long as I don't let it hit the deck. And there's the valve that fell out. We'll definitely have to put that back. I'll show you how when it's time. But there it is, the valve body's out. And you can see how many bolts I didn't take out. I hope that's high enough that you can see it. And we'll let that drain there for a little while. And then we'll do a little work on it on the bench. Alright, with this bad boy on the bench, I want to show you, this is that bulkhead connector. Make sure we can see it here. It has a pin in it so that it can only go in one way. And this won't go in until this goes in and is seated, and then this goes into lock. Okay, so that's how that, and then this just pulls straight out. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys that. Now, this piece here comes all the way around the side of the valve body. This is the lead frame, and that's what we're replacing on this unit, and that's why we had to pull it. So it's as simple as knowing which 6 bolts, which 2 are they? These 2. So with those 6 bolts removed, then our lead frame should that out of our way. Just gently pry up. Thought I had it. Here we go. And she comes right off. And this is the problem right here. This is our transmission range sensor, and you can see that it's got metal filings all over it, which I'm sure got in here and messed it up. So that's why we're replacing this, is because of the bad transmission range sensor. I guess I should note that the transmission range sensor goes into the manual valve. I don't know if you can see that manual valve right there. That slides right into it. And so we need to make sure that's lined up, obviously. If we were doing more, if we were doing a solenoid, the solenoid pack, the solenoid pack is on this end of the transmission, and these just pop out, but we're not doing those. We do need to look and make sure that all our connections are clean, and they all do look good. Also, when I put this back in, I will show you that we need to check. There's a seal here, and there's 4 seals here, and we need to make sure they're all in place because they just pull out. So let's go ahead and get our new lead frame. Okay, we have a couple of long pins that have to line up, and then we have our solenoid connectors that all have to go in, and there's a foam sensor on here, or a foam gasket on here that needs to be there. And so, like I said before, we need to line up our transmission range sensor. Line that up with those metal pins. I don't know if you'll be able to see it very well, but you can see the transmission range sensor sits right in that slot on the manual valve. Okay. Flip her back over. Reinstall our 6 bolts. I'm just going to run these in, but I'm not going to get them tight yet. Okay, now we're going to torque these, because this is, oops, set that the wrong way. Torque on these is 53 inch-pounds, which is only about 4.5 foot-pounds or so. There is a torque sequence. We start here, and then here, and then here, here. Go back and double check. That one loosened just a smidge. All right, all torqued. So now we'll get set back up over under the vehicle and we'll put her back together. All right, we're ready to put it back in. Before we do, there's a couple of things that the manual tells us to check. One is this little spring right in here. Apparently that is prone to falling out. Another that I mentioned before was these seals. This one here and these four here. And I don't know if the light's good enough to see here, but they are black, black, green, blue. And if they fall out, you have to make sure you get them back in the right spots. Other than that, we're just going to get set up here. That looks like a nice, good view of it. One more thing before we go back together. Remember this valve that fell out? It goes right here in this hole, but if we put it in there, it just falls back out. Okay? So you can use Vaseline. I prefer this stuff, assembly goo. It's amazing. You just goop it on here just like you would the Vaseline. And it's nice and thick, and it's designed to completely disperse into the oil. It just melts with no bad side effects. And that way when we slide this up in here, whoop, wipe off the extra, it stays. Yay! Now we just lift the valve body back into place. And start bolting two. Again, being very careful not to over tighten these bolts. The torque on these is 71 inch-pounds, which is just 1 inch-pound below 6 foot-pounds. So in the grand scheme, not very tight. And again, there's a torque sequence. So we'll torque these. we just have one thing left to do, and that's put our bulkhead connector back in. So I'm going to squeeze this up in here. Not even sure you can see my hand, but it goes in there. So this should just push in. Oh, and there it goes, and if it is far enough, aha! The clip slides right up, and our valve body is completely reinstalled. Now we just put the pan back on and we're good to, oh, forgot one thing. One more thing. I gotta plug it in. See the plug? Yay! Okay, so I will plug this back in. And lock that in place. And we should be good to go.